National Technology Day today marks the 22nd anniversary of Pokhran nuclear tests. Prime Minister hails 1998 achievement as landmark moment in India's history. Prime Minister says today technology is helping many in the efforts to make the world free from COVID-19. Also salutes all those at the forefront of research and innovation on ways to defeat coronavirus. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold a meeting with state chief ministers today via video conference. This will be the fifth meeting of the Prime Minister with state chief ministers since the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic. Indian Railways to resume select passenger services from tomorrow. Booking for these to open from 4 p.m. onwards today and will be available only through the IRCTC website. Railways Minister says Railways is fully geared up to run 300 Shramik special trains every day. India's massive evacuation mission Vande Bharat continues to bring back countrymen from across the world. Indians stranded in UK, Kuwait, Philippines and Riyadh brought back. Active COVID-19 cases across the nation rise to 41,472 with 19,357 recoveries and 2,109 fatalities. Confirmed cases across the world crosses grim milestone of 40 lakh with over 2.8 lakh fatalities. US worst affected with over 79,000 deaths. British Prime Minister says no end to the country's lockdown, but some measures will be eased. Hello, you're watching DD News and I'm Preeti presenting the bulletin. Our top story first. National Technology Day is being celebrated today with focus on rebooting the economy through science and technology. In the COVID-19 crisis, technology has been at the forefront of the battle against the pandemic, keeping in mind the need of the hour to formulate a comprehensive action plan to reboot the economy. Ministry of Science and Development will organize a high-level digital conference on rebooting the economy through science, technology and research translations titled Restart. The conference will be focused on evolving technological, including medical, advanced and manufacturing technologies that would prepare India for the post-COVID-19 times. TDB, on behalf of the Ministry of Science and Technology, celebrates May 11th every year as the National Technology Day to commemorate achievements of innovations and technological excellence in the country. The day has a historical perspective too, as it was on May 11, 1998 that India achieved a major technological breakthrough by successfully carrying out nuclear tests at Pokhran. Further, the first indigenous aircraft Hansa-3 was test flown at Bangalore on this day, and India also performed successful test firing of the Trishul missile on the same day. President Ramnath Kovind has greeted fellow citizens on the National Technology Day, marking the anniversary of the nuclear tests of 1998. In a tweet, he said, and I quote him, "On the occasion, we celebrate the incomparable contribution of the scientific community in making the nation self-reliant. We recognize science and technology as the key instruments for inclusive progress. Our scientists and technologists are also on the front lines of the global battle against COVID-19, making the nation proud." Prime Minister Narendra Modi also extended greetings on the National Technology Day. In a tweet, the Prime Minister said, and I quote him, "On the National Technology Day, our nation salutes all those who are leveraging technology to bring a positive difference in the lives of others. We remember the exceptional achievement of our scientists on this day in 1998. It was a landmark moment in India's history. Today, technology is helping many in the efforts to make the world free from COVID-19. I salute all those at the forefront of the research and innovation on ways to defeat coronavirus. May we keep harnessing technology in order to create a healthier and a better planet." Prime Minister also tweeted a video from his Mann Ki Baat program emphasizing on the remarkable leadership of former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee and India's scientists, and said that the tests in Pokhran in 1998 showed the difference a strong political leadership can make.
आपको याद होगा आज से 20 वर्ष पहले 11 मई 1998 शाम को तत्कालीन भारत के प्रधानमंत्री श्री अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी ने राष्ट्र को संबोधित करते हुए कहा था, उनकी बातों ने पूरे देश को गौरव, पराक्रम और खुशी के पल से भर दिया था। विश्व भर में फैले हुए भारतीय समुदाय में एक नए आत्मविश्वास उजागर हुआ था। वो दिन था बुद्ध पूर्णिमा का। 11 मई 1998 भारत के पश्चिमी छोर पर राजस्थान के पोखरण में परमाणु परीक्षण किया गया था। उसे 20 वर्ष हो रहे हैं और ये परीक्षण भगवान बुद्ध के आशीर्वाद के साथ बुद्ध पूर्णिमा के दिन किया गया था। भारत का परीक्षण सफल रहा और एक तरह से कहें तो विज्ञान और तकनीक के क्षेत्र में भारत ने अपनी ताकत का प्रदर्शन किया था। हम कह सकते हैं कि वो दिन भारत के इतिहास में उसकी सैन्य शक्ति के प्रदर्शन के रूप में अंकित है। भगवान बुद्ध ने दुनिया को दिखाया है, इनर स्ट्रेंथ, अंतर्मन की शक्ति शांति के लिए आवश्यक है। इसी तरह जब आप एक देश के रूप में मजबूत होते हैं तो आप सबके साथ शांतिपूर्ण रह भी सकते हैं। मई 1998 का महीना देश के लिए सिर्फ इसलिए महत्वपूर्ण नहीं है इस महीने में परमाणु परीक्षण हुए, बल्कि वो जिस तरह से किए गए थे वो महत्वपूर्ण है। इसने पूरे विश्व को दिखाया कि भारत की भूमि महान वैज्ञानिकों की भूमि है और एक मजबूत नेतृत्व के साथ भारत नित नए मुकाम और ऊंचाइयों को हासिल कर सकता है। अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी ने मंत्र दिया था, जय जवान, जय किसान, जय विज्ञान। आज जब हम 11 मई 1998 उसका 20वां वर्ष मनाने जा रहे हैं, तब भारत की शक्ति के लिए अटल जी ने जो जय विज्ञान का हमें मंत्र दिया है, उसे आत्मसात करते हुए आधुनिक भारत बनाने के लिए, शक्तिशाली भारत बनाने के लिए, समर्थ भारत बनाने के लिए हर युवा योगदान देने का संकल्प करें, अपने सामर्थ्य को भारत के सामर्थ्य का हिस्सा बनाएं। देखते ही देखते जिस यात्रा को अटल जी ने प्रारंभ किया था, उसे आगे बढ़ाने का एक नया आनंद, नया संतोष हम भी प्राप्त कर पाएंगे।
Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar also took to Twitter on the National Technology Day. The minister said, and I quote him, Atulji made India a nuclear power and the world did not get even a hint of it. Javadekar also extended his greetings to the scientists and engineers on the National Technology Day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be holding a meeting via video conferencing with all the chief ministers at 3 p.m. today. Now, this will be his 5th meeting with the chief ministers. Prime Minister Modi on various occasions has emphasized on the need to work in close cooperation with states and the centre to overcome the COVID-19 challenge. Their last meeting was on April 27th. This will be their first meeting after many states relaxed several restrictions. Union Minister for Science and Technology Dr. Harshvardhan will be the chief guest for the restart occasion. In a tweet, he said, and I quote him, India's quest for scientific inquiry, technology and innovation has been eternal. On May 11th, two great leaders, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, escalated India's pride to new heights by conducting Pokhran tests. This day, India also flew its first indigenous aircraft, Hansa 3. Indian Railways has announced the much-awaited decision of reopening of the passenger train operations. Indian Railways will restart its passenger operations in a gradual manner from tomorrow. The operations will be initially reopened with 15 pairs of trains. These trains will be run as special trains from New Delhi station, connecting Dibrugarh, Agratala, Howrah, Patna, Bilaspur, Ranchi, Bhubaneswar, Secunderabad, Bengaluru, Chennai, Thiruvananthapuram, Madgaon, Mumbai Central, Ahmedabad and Jammu Tawi. Indian Railways will also start special services on new routes based on the available coaches after reserving 20,000 coaches for COVID-19 care centres and adequate number of coaches being reserved to enable operation of up to 300 trains every day as Shramik Special for stranded migrants. Booking for reservation in these trains will start at 4 p.m. today and will be available only on the IRCTC website. It must be strictly noted that ticket booking counters at the railway stations shall remain closed and no counter tickets, including platform tickets, shall be issued. People are therefore urged not to spread rumours and gather at the railway stations unnecessarily. Only passengers with valid confirmed tickets will be allowed to enter the railway stations. It will be mandatory for the passengers to wear face covers and undergo screening at the departure, and only asymptomatic passengers will be allowed to board the train. Indian Railways has operated 350 Shramik special trains till yesterday across the country. There were around 1,200 passengers who travelled in each of these Shramik special trains. Of the total, 263 trains had reached their destinations, while 87 trains are in transit. These trains ferried passengers to various states including Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Himachal Pradesh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha, Rajasthan, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal. Trains are being run by railways only after concurrence is given both by the state which is sending the passengers and the state which is receiving them. Proper screening of passengers is ensured before boarding the train. Also, passengers are being given free meals and water, and social distancing is being strictly observed in all the trains. Indian Railways has also converted 5,231 coaches into COVID care centres to strengthen the fight against COVID-19. 215 railway stations have been identified for placement of COVID care centres. Over 2,500 doctors and 35,000 paramedical staff has been deployed. 5,000 beds are ready for any contingency. Railways is producing its own PPEs to protect the frontline workers. It will also take care of water, electricity, catering and security of the centres. The world's largest evacuation operation to bring back the stranded Indian nationals from different countries under Vande Bharat mission is going on smoothly. Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri has said that untiring efforts of Air India Express and the Ministry of External Affairs and our missions keep Mission Vande Bharat flying high. Yesterday, 1,239 Indians were flown back on 6 flights from Doha, London, Singapore, Riyadh, Kuwait and Kuala Lumpur. More flights are on the way. The latest flight to arrive with Indian nationals was the first Air India special flight from the US. 225 Indians were brought from San Francisco to Mumbai. Indians also safely came back from London with 323 stranded Indians on board. The Air India flight landed in Bengaluru. Indian nationals also returned home through Air India flight from Manila, the capital of Philippines.
It was indeed an emotional moment for over 250 people from Karnataka who landed at Bangalore International Airport. And this emotional moment was witnessed by several officials who were here to receive them at the arrival gate number 12. And all these people who landed here at Bangalore are part of Government of India's Vande Bharat plan to bring in the Indians who are stranded due to coronavirus pandemic across the world. As the flight landed inside, all arrangements were made inside and the passengers were briefed and they were all told about the quarantine procedures and the fact that they will all have to undergo quarantine compulsory for 14 days. Besides this, all these passengers were also told to download the quarantine app, and as soon as they landed, they were given a SIM card where the passengers had to activate the SIM card and then download the quarantine app in their SIM card. This is a technology that the Karnataka government has adopted to monitor the people in a quarantine, wherein people have to compulsorily send 2 pictures per day. Now the quarantine app is GPS linked, wherein it will be monitored by the health department officials and the movement of the people who are in quarantine. Besides this, the officials also directed them to download the Arogya Setu app as well, and all the passengers were told the procedure thoroughly. The passengers were taken to different hotels based on their choice, and they will be staying in 3 category hotels, that is 5-star hotel, 3-star and also economy class hotels. So all these people who have reached India will bear the cost of their stay in India. Government of Karnataka has said that quarantine procedures will have to be strictly followed. With cameraman Venkatesh, Aisha Khanam, DD India, Bangalore.
And it was indeed an important day yesterday. We also saw Indian nationals returning home through Air India flight from Manila, the capital of Philippines. This flight landed in Mumbai. Late yesterday night, the Air India Express flight landed in Kochi from Kuala Lumpur. It landed at around 10:17 p.m. with 177 passengers and 2 infants. Earlier, at around 9:30 p.m., flight from Kuwait landed in Chennai. 167 passengers and 4 infants safely returned from Kuwait. An Air India flight with 139 passengers also arrived from Riyadh. The flight landed in Delhi. The government is also undertaking Operation Samudra Setu to evacuate Indians through Indian naval ships. INS Magar, the second Indian naval ship to reach Malé in Maldives for evacuation of the Indian citizens, has left from there. The ship is expected to take 48 hours to reach India. A total of 202 persons are on board the ship, which includes 24 women, 2 expectant mothers and 2 children. One of the men, who hails from Tamil Nadu, has a fractured leg. As per the procedure, the evacuees were screened medically, their baggage was disinfected and they were allotted IDs as per various zones earmarked on board the ship. Indian High Commissioner to Maldives, Sanjay Sudhir, said that the evacuation exercise will continue in the coming days under Vande Bharat mission.
I'm very happy to share that INS Jalashwa reached Kochi, taking 698 Indians with it. We will continue with these operations and try our best to transport as many Indians as possible to India. I must also convey my deep gratitude to the government of Maldives for extending all possible help in conducting these major exercises.
India has sent its naval ship Kesari to Maldives, Mauritius, Madagascar, Comoros and Seychelles on request for assistance in dealing with COVID-19 pandemic. INS Kesari carries on board 2 medical assistance teams, consignments of COVID-related essential medicines and also food items. It will deliver consignments of COVID-related essential medicines to Mauritius, Madagascar, Comoros and Seychelles and about 600 tons of food items to Maldives. In addition, in case of Mauritius, a special consignment of Ayurvedic medicines is also being sent. The consignments meant for Madagascar and Comoros also include hydroxychloroquine tablets, which already have been earlier sent to Mauritius, Maldives and Seychelles. The medical assistance teams will be deployed in Mauritius and Comoros, helping their governments deal with COVID-19 emergency and also dengue fever in case of Comoros. The government has issued guidelines for quarantine of returnees from abroad who are being evacuated under Vande Bharat mission. Quarantine and isolation facilities must be separated and should not be based on paid basis, with all facilities available for them. The government also ordered facility owners to fix the charges with consultation of the states and also asked them to follow all norms established for COVID care centers. The government also advised that only pre-symptomatic patients would be kept in isolation facility and they must give undertaking on the website of the Health Ministry. Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan has said that the situation in India is improving as it fights against COVID-19 and many people have been sent to their homes after successful recovery from the disease. He said that the recovery rate due to COVID-19 is more than 30% in the country now, while mortality rate continues to be around 3.3%.
तो पिछले 3 दिन का हमारा जो डबलिंग रेट है वो 12 है। हमारा जो रिकवरी रेट है वो हमारा आज 30% से ऊपर पहुंच गया है। 60,000 में से लगभग 20,000 जो हमारे मरीज़ हैं वो ठीक होकर वापस अपने घरों में चले गए हैं और हमारा जो मॉर्टेलिटी रेट है वो अभी भी केवल 3.3% बना हुआ है। यद्यपि एक भी मृत्यु होती है तो वो बहुत कष्टदायक होती है। पिछले 24 घंटे में 10 हमारे स्टेट्स और यूनियन टेरिटरीज ऐसे हैं देश में जहां एक भी केस नहीं आया है।
National Institute of Virology, Pune, has successfully developed the first indigenous anti-SARS-CoV-2 human ELISA test kit for antibody detection of COVID-19. Now, this robust test will play a critical role in surveillance of proportion of population exposed to SARS-CoV-19 infection. Now, this kit is being validated at 2 sites in Mumbai and has high sensitivity and accuracy. Besides, it has the advantage of testing 90 samples together in a single run of 2.5 hours so that healthcare professionals can proceed quickly with necessary next steps on their patients' triage paths. ELISA-based testing is easily possible even at district level. The National Institute of Virology's technique has been transferred to Zydus and Cadila for mass-scale production. The Drug Controller General has granted commercial production and marketing permission to Zydus. Let's get to international updates. Coronavirus cases continue to increase worldwide, with over 41 lakh confirmed cases being recorded, while fatalities have risen to over 2.82 lakh, while 14 lakh people have recovered. The worst affected remains United States, recording 776 coronavirus deaths in the last 24 hours. The US now has an overall death toll of 79,625, with more than 13 lakh positive infections. The total number of people recovered in the country crosses 2 lakh mark, while Vice President Mike Pence went in for self-isolation after an aide tested positive for the COVID-19 infection last week. Pence has repeatedly tested negative for COVID-19 since his exposure, but will be following the advice of the medical officials. Meanwhile, New York State announced new rules dictating procedures for senior care facilities in the state. All nursing homes in New York will be required to test staff twice a week for the virus. Further, New York mandated hospitals cannot discharge a COVID-19 patient to a nursing home until the person has tested negative for the disease. And British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has unveiled a conditional plan to reopen society, allowing people in England to spend more time outdoors from Wednesday. So more or less this was it in this edition of the news this hour. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.